If everything I built disappeared tomorrow, my shop, my listings, my momentum, and I only had $100, here's exactly what I would do to rebuild my business in 2026. I wouldn't panic, I wouldn't chase trends, and I definitely wouldn't do everything all at once, and I would follow a very, very, very specific plan. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you exactly through how I'd rebuild my digital product business from scratch with just $100, step by step, tool by tool, and decision by decision. What's up, guys? My name is Nathan. If you're new here, I run an online digital product business about selling Canva templates, and I create content about building online income in a way that's realistic and repeatable. So today's video is gonna be a rebuilding scenario. This means no audience, no existing shop, no existing reviews, no secret advantages, just $100 and the knowledge that I have now. And the goal isn't to get rich overnight, it's to build something sustainable that's long-term and can grow forever and ever and ever. So here's the plan, okay? We're gonna talk about what platform I'd choose, the tools I'd invest in, how I'd create my first product, how I'd research to know what sells, and exactly how I'd list and repeat until momentum kicks in and my shop takes off. Let's start with arguably the most important decision, and that is choosing your platform to sell on. If I had $100 and had to choose where to sell, I'd immediately choose Etsy every single time. Etsy already does the hardest part for you, and that is literally attracting your buyers. People on Etsy are already scrolling for solutions. They're not scrolling for entertainment, they're shopping with intention. Now, you can build your website on Shopify, and eventually that's a great move, but early on, it's a lot more work. You have to drive traffic, build trust, and funnel people into your website. The good thing about Etsy is it already has the traffic sitting there just waiting for you to dive in. The best way I kind of like to think of it is like this. If you were a vendor, would you rather pay a booth fee at a small local market where a few people walk by, or would you rather pay that exact same fee at one of the biggest festivals of the year where you're going to get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of potential customers? So obviously step one is going to be to open an Etsy shop. It can range anywhere from $15 to $29 depending on your region, but it's low upfront costs and there's built-in demand, and it's a massive leveraging tool. The next portion of that $100 that I'm spending is going to go to Canva Pro, and this is not optional, folks. If you're selling Canva templates, you need Canva Pro. In order to create template links, which is ultimately what you're going to give your buyer, you need Canva Pro in order to access that tool. So it's literally a non-negotiable for your business model. Step 3 is all about product selection. There's 2 ways to go about this. The first way is to obviously manually make your product in Canva, and if you are very design savvy, then I would highly recommend doing this. But if you're not very design savvy and you're going to feel overwhelmed, I would highly consider buying an MRR product or a PLR product. And if you don't basically know what that means, it basically gives you the rights to buy a product from another Etsy seller and recreate it as your own and sell it as your own and keep 100% of the profit. And now when you buy this MRR or PLR product, I don't want you just to resell it as it is, okay? I want you to analyze it and think about a few things, okay? I want you to ask yourself, what makes this product special? What makes it weak? What do I like about it? What design elements grab my attention? What you're doing is you're visually learning somebody else's design process, okay? That alone can jump your creativity and confidence into you ultimately designing something of your own that's 10 times better than the product you purchased. The key rule that you want to understand here is you're not just copying that design, okay? You're studying it. You're changing out the fonts, you're changing out the niche, you're really making it your own product. Now that you have a general direction, it is imperative that you invest in a research tool. For me, that was Alura, and it will continue to be Alura, truly. Alura lets me see what people are actually searching for, what keywords have demand, how competitive a niche is, and what products are already selling. What this does is it takes away the guessing factor and it gives me clarity as to what I should design and what I know will make sales. Aside from having a research tool, I would highly recommend going on to at least 10 or 15 Etsy shops and favoriting them and seeing on the left side what individual categories they're selling in and see if there's any overlap. Do they all sell business cards? Do they all sell Instagram templates? Do they all sell website templates? If all of them have the same 3 categories in their shop, that's a good indicator that that's probably a good niche to start selling in. So once we have our niche picked out and we understand there's low competition and high demand, then an optional step would be to maybe buy one of your competitors' products to really analyze it and see what makes the product good. Now, you do not have to do this. This is just something that I've always done because it's always given me design insight into understanding why their product is working so well. However, you do not have to do this at all, but for me, it just allows me to really analyze what my competitor is offering and what I can offer better. At this point, I'm not designing blindly, okay? I have a niche, a theme, a clear problem, and examples of what customers are already responding to. During my design process, if I'm not using MRR or PLR, I'll ask myself, what value can I add? How can I make this more useful? How can I make it clear? How can I make it easier to use? If competitors are offering 50 Instagram templates, I'll offer 75 or 100 Instagram templates. If they're basic with what they're offering, I'll be extremely thorough with what I'm offering. The goal is to be so obvious your buyer cannot skip over your listing. Step 6 is going to be listing the product on Etsy. Now, before I upload anything on Etsy, I'm going to go back to my competitors' photos and mockups and see what is working for them. When I'm evaluating my competitors' mockup photos, I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for the order of the images. I'm looking how well they explain the value of what's being offered, what information you're seeing, and from from there, I kind of have two options. I can either design my own listing mockups inspired by a few other competitors, or I can buy a PLR/MRR mockup pack that basically lets me customize everything and make my product listing ready. Now, either is fine. You just kind of have to figure out what works for you and your business. And now once my listing photos are ready, I'm going to head back into Alura and choose strong keywords for my title, fill out my description thoroughly, and make sure everything is aligned with how I want my product to come across. Then I list the product and I repeat, which leads us to step 7, which is rinse, repeat, and refine. Now, this is where most people quit too early, okay? I wouldn't expect sales my first week. I wouldn't panic. I'd keep listing, I'd keep refining, I'd keep analyzing clicks and favorites and see what's working, because momentum in digital products comes from volume plus iteration, not perfection. So if I had to rebuild my digital product business all over again in scratch in 2026 with only $100, this is exactly what I do. Let's say we're gonna go with Alura at $19.99 a month, plus our Canva Pro membership, which is about $15 a month, plus our Etsy startup fee, which is at $29 for the first time fee. Right now, we're sitting at about $63 that we've spent so far in our business. I'd also lean into ethical inspiration. So that means Pinterest, that means checking Etsy competitors, that means possibly purchasing MRR/PLR products. Now, if you decide to purchase MRR/PLR products, you still have $37 left in your business that you can buy other mockups with to enhance your business. It is very, very doable to start an online digital product business in 2026. You just have to be willing and ready to do so, because if you're not willing to invest $100 into yourself and your business, then I don't know if I could ever help you. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a big thumbs up. Did this video help you guys get some clarity on where to start in your digital business? I'd love to know. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Nathan, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.